I don't think we will ever move into a digital era, into one of these dystopian futures or societies in which people live mainly in a digital world rather than in the physical. And here's why I don't think that's ever gonna happen. It's because the digital world is a direct representation, in a way, of our mind. So the digital world is simulating, in a way, our own mental space. It is just a recreation, in a way, of the mind. And although we do have a mind, our mind is never able to exist on its own. And our mind is part of a triune, in a way, system, a threefold system of body, mind, and soul. So all these three parts, they only exist together. They have always existed together, and they are always going to exist together because they are inseparable. So our mind is never ultimately going to be able to be separated from our body, and our body is never going to be able to be separated from our soul, and neither the mind from the soul. And so, because of this true rule, let's say, or formula of existence itself, because this is a true formula, it's always going to manifest itself at all the levels of our existence, independent of the level. So, because that's the formula, we are never going to be able to experience. Oh, wait, because that's the formula of our interior design. The exterior reality also always manifests and represents that and reflects that. What's outside reflects the inside, and vice versa. So, this is why we can forget, in a way, about moving into a digital era or all these fears associated with the AI takeover and us moving into a dystopian technologized society, because in reality that's unfeasible. If if we would even try, let's say, if we would try our best, let's say, to even achieve that, a collapse would happen and we won't be able to. Because if we would move into a digital era and we would start living inside a computer program, the other parts of our being would collapse, the body and the soul. Because we would try to go extremely on the mind aspect of ourselves, which again, the mind is in direct correlation with the digital. The digital is a reflection of the mind. And we would try to, let's say, go extreme on the mind, but the other two parts of us would have to diminish, then they would suffer. So ultimately, if we would try to go all in on the mind, all in on the digital, that would be the collapse of the physical world, the end of the soul. And if, by the way, the soul is collapsing, there is going to be zero energy. existing in the entire system to sustain even the mind, because the soul is the source of energy. So you can't kill your source of energy. You can't, let's say, consume more than you can produce, because let's say the mind, if the mind would be the consumption, the consumer part of us, let's say the soul produces the energy, and the mind takes that energy and transforms it into creations, right? So then the mind uses the energy that the soul produces. But if the mind creates creations too quickly or more fast than the soul is able to produce the energy for those creations, then you're gonna have a collapse. So if we would try to go extreme on the digital, and we would try to overly, let's say, use our mind to create stuff, even in the reality or even in a digital world, it doesn't matter, especially in a digital world, because in a digital world, our mind would be, let's say, almost like overruling everything. It would be just pure mind. You would have pure freedom to do whatever, theoretically, right? Theoretically, whatever you want in the digital world. Of course, there would be boundaries and rules there, of course, but theoretically, you would have much more freedom to just go crazy in the digital world, thinking that nothing is gonna happen here for me in the physical. I can go and, talk rubbish things with other people. I can, play video games and kill people or smash my car into buildings and whatever, because here I'm safe, nobody gets killed. And you can allow yourself to go wild in the digital, similar to how you can allow yourself to go wild in your imagination and in your mind, and you can, fabulate scenarios all day long, thinking how maybe you want to kill, a person or talk shit to another one, or you can do whatever you want into your mind, because it's never gonna happen here in the physical, and you're safe now. But if we would, let's say, try to build this technologized society in which we would live mainly in a digital world, and thus our mind would have almost like a free pass to freaking go crazy, that's when the mind would have the freedom to create much more than the soul has the ability to generate the energy for. And that would be an imbalance between energy and consumption. So you would consume much more energy than you are able to produce, and you are gonna collapse. This is why, see, it's so important for us to understand that this triune model of our own being, body, mind, and soul. Because if we understand that we are always this trinity, we are always this triune system, then finally we are able to understand that if we go extreme on any of these parts of our being, then the other two parts will collapse. So it's similar to how if we would try to go extreme on the body, like the materialists have tried, right, to reduce our, like the so-called reductionist materialist, right? They try to reduce everything to the physical world, to reduce everything to the body, and they discarded the soul, and they discarded even the mind, maybe, you know. So that's when the mind collapses, and that's when the soul collapses as well. So if we go extreme on any of these 3 points on our system, and we don't understand that we are this triune being, and we are not one, we are three always. We have three identities, we have three eyes within us. Actually, there are more, but simplifying, we have three eyes within us. If we don't understand that we are three, we are not one, we are three, we are going to misuse our own constitution, doing harm by thinking we are one sides of this trinity, rather than understanding we are the entire trinity. And we are going to choose sides. Oh, I am favoring more the mind, oh, I'm favoring more the soul, or I'm favoring more the body. Oh, I'm discarding the body entirely, like the Gnostics, try to say that, you know, some. I mean, I haven't studied much of the Gnostics, but what I heard superficially, I heard this general idea in the pop culture Gnostic teachings that matter is evil, you know. That's one way to demonize one part of the system. Or you can try to demonize the mind, like the some forms of Eastern spirituality are doing, you know. Just no, the mind is bad entirely, you know. Or I don't know if somebody is trying to demonize the soul, but I think many have without knowing. Right now they are demonizing the soul. They are demonizing their own feeling and feelings ability and their own creativity and their own ability, because the soul right now, it just happens that the soul is extremely chaotic and it's in an extreme disease. Many have demonized the soul right now, and they are ostracizing their own soul, and they try to get by in life just by using mind and body, you know, without paying attention to their own soul. So that's why I know that this thing with moving into a digital era is never going to happen. Because even if we would try, exactly as I said, even if we would give our best to achieve it, reality would collapse. So it's always gonna be this reality in a way, which is a collaboration or a totality created by the infusion of these three parts of us. All three parts, it's like they would be essences on their own, and they are all bringing their essence to the middle, and this is our reality. Our reality is created by body, mind, and soul together. So it's always gonna be, probably we are always gonna have some form of, in the exterior reality, it's always gonna be some form of technology. It's always gonna be some form of physical, of course, and some form of soul, which, by the way, this is why I feel this current world is collapsing mentally and physically right now, is because we are in a really, really, really detrimental position right now, because we are right now extremely disconnected from our own soul. The soul is the magical side of reality. It is what can be described like the astral plane, or the energetic world, or the subconscious or the unconscious mind, or I just know it is the magical part of us. The soul comes with magic, it comes with power, comes with creativity, it comes with opening up the levels of existing and seeing more of what existence truly is at all of its levels. The soul comes with the ability to talk with a tree. The soul comes with the ability to, you know, sense and see much more to anything in reality. For example, even a stone in an object, you can see much more layers to it. You can see how it was created, the energy and intention behind it. You can see it almost like a being on its own, with its own will and intention and uh, life path and history and future ventures, and um, you can see its chemical composition. You can see the intents going on, and even thoughts that goes on into the, let's say, structure of the stone. Because again, body, mind, and soul is in everything. Everything has thoughts. Animals think, stones think, whales think, you know, trees think, but they think in different ways. But we all have these three things, like thought, which is just a representation of will and intention; energy, which is, I mean, feeling, which is a representation of energy; and body, which is a representation of physical, concrete. The union between energy and intention creates physicality. So that's in everything. A freaking stone has energy and thoughts, intentions and wills, and everything is permeated by these three essences. Everything. So I know this thing with moving into a digital area is just a scarecrow. It's just, it's just either you can consider it, if you want to be more grungy and angry, you know, you can consider it as an abomination of a thought. If you want to be more on the light side of things, you can just know it is just a freaking joke, you know. The AI is never going to take over the world. That's impossible. And if we would even want to try it, our society and everything would collapse. And right now we have a problem with the soul, like cosmically. Yeah, we have a problem with the soul right now because we are all extremely disconnected from the soul side of things. Extremely disconnected. Especially, I would say, I don't know. I think other creatures are also disconnected by, but I see humanity extremely disconnected, extremely disconnected from the soul side of things. I think some animals, definitely trees and plants, they have much more connection with the energetic realm, with the magic of existence. They have much more connection to it. So the idea is to, I know this is our future, by the way. I know the future is to regain access to our own soul, to find the key that opens the door to our heart, because our soul, at its most pure core level, is the heart. And we have to find our door to her again, to our very soul. And I know this is our future because this is the piece of the equation that it is currently missing. We have mind and we have body, but our body, see, it's stuck right now. We cannot develop physically without introducing again the soul in the equation. We are stuck globally in a physical, low physical form, because we don't have access to our soul, which is our creative power, which would give us the access to evolve from this condition that we are in. So right now, that's our issue. This is our issue right now. It's our inability to contact our soul and to gain access again to her. And this is our future, because we have to find the key to open the door to our heart, to our soul. We have to find her. It's impossible. Otherwise, we are going to remain here in this Groundhog Day type of existence, which we visibly, we are stuck. We are stuck in a physical paradigm that just continue to recycle itself, a story which continues to recycle itself over and over and over again. Destruction, creation, but we are remaining as impaired from our true perspective of our true being, as impaired in our true evolution as we are. We are impaired. We are stagnated right now. We can't evolve physically from this low physical condition that we are in unless we are able to contact our soul, to get in contact with her, to establish a permanent connection with our soul, and to allow the soul to infuse again the system with energy, new energy. So when the soul is going to be able to, like when we are able to open the door to the soul, new energy is going to flood within our system, our trillion system. And that's when the mind and the bodies are going to finally be able to evolve from this Groundhog Day type of existence. Until then, we are stuck because we are running on a energy which has, let's say, at some point got captured in the system. The soul, the door to the soul was sealed, so no more energy was able to enter the system. Now we are stuck with that single energy that entered the system, who knows how how long ago. And now we are just recycling that energy over and over and over again, an energy which came from our soul before our door to the soul got locked. So now we are just using the same energy to create the freaking same nauseating repeated stories over and over and over again. Thus we are stuck. We are stuck in this low level of existence because no more energy from our soul is able to enter the system. And I know the future, of course, is opening the gate to the soul. And I feel it has already started to happen. Very, very, in some portions here and there, in some human beings here and there. The gateway to the soul has been reached, and now we are learning how to open that door and keep it open, and how to work with the soul aspect of ourselves, which is the most terrifying right now from many perspectives. The soul, because we had this we had our access to our soul sealed for so much time. Now, God, the soul is in a terrible condition. We are in a terrible condition at the level of our soul, and it's frightening at first to start contacting again the soul, because there is a lot of pain, a lot of a lot to deal with. If we want to re-establish our connection with our soul, we have to get in tune with our feelings and with our pain. Period. There is zero way of reviving your soul, making it alive again, without feeling the totality of pain that it has accumulated in the meantime. There is a lot of pain at the level of our soul. And we have to live it out consciously. We have to accept it consciously. We have to feel it consciously. We have to give it our total attention, our totality to that pain. We have to hear it out. We have to open ourselves to our pain. That's the pathway towards reviving the soul. That's what opens the gateway of the soul. It's feeling the pain, feeling the pain accumulated in it. Just feeling it, without trying to fix it, without trying to find resolutions for it, without trying to find culprits. No, you have to feel it. The soul is about feeling. It's the mind is about finding culprits or finding resolutions, and the soul just feels. So if you want to get in contact again with your soul, you have to just feel your pain. Just find where it hurts within and sit with that hurt. It's gonna feel like death and worse than death, but you have to go through it. That's the only way in which you can revive your soul. That's the only way in which new energy can enter into your system and you can finally move on from this repeated story where you got stuck, and we all are stuck. We all got stuck. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this recording for these insights.